leaving the White Knob Motel in Mackay. About 6 o'clock a.m. Day 5 finds Team That's What She Said leaving the little town of Mackay, Idaho. So you might think I'm weird about how things are pronounced, and I'm sure with my thick Utah accent, I get a lot of words wrong, like mountain instead of mountain, and crick instead of creek. But while this looks like it should be pronounced Mackay, I assure you that I'm not saying it with a Utah accent. Yes, the locals' way of properly pronouncing this is Mackay. The namesake of Mackay, Idaho, and nearby Mackay Peak is a man named John W. Mackay. He was an Irish-American mining engineer with a rags to riches story that I think is pretty cool. To tell it briefly, he was born in 1831 into poverty in Dublin, Ireland. In 1840, his family immigrated to New York and settled in the slums of Manhattan, and his father died soon afterwards, forcing John to quit school and get a job to help support his mother and sister at the age of just 11 years old. Eventually, when his sister was old enough to work, he decided to follow many others west towards the California gold rush. He worked at mining for 7 years with very little luck, but eventually used what little bit he had earned to buy a stake in an obscure mine called the Kentuck, which had been written off as unproductive. This mine ended up producing over $1.6 million worth of gold and silver ore, the equivalent of around $375 million today. John eventually became one of the wealthiest men in the world. The $1 billion with a B that he possessed at his death in 1902 would have been the equivalent to around $80 billion today. So why is this little town in Idaho named after John Mackay? Good question, glad you asked. As I understand it, John helped to cause the boom that inspired Mackay, Idaho's roots by investing in yet another railroad hub near the White Knob Mine copper smelters, so it had easy access to transport the copper out of Idaho in the late 1870s. John even had the Mackay Mansion built in town to house wealthy investors and businessmen when visiting the copper mines and the town. Interestingly though, John W. Mackay never once set foot in Mackay, Idaho. Good. That doesn't look good. The first section of Day 5 takes us out of Mackay, and from here we would begin our journey into the center of Idaho. It would be mostly jeep roads and some fun 2-track trails up to a pass where we would ascend above 10,000 feet for the first time on the tour, and also our first challenge point of the day, the White Knob Mountain Crest. Mackay. Not much to it. After the pass, we descended back down to the north, then west down Corral Creek, and down to the main road through Copper Basin, Burma Road. Off of Burma Road, we took trail 4056 up to our second challenge point and the first old fire lookout of many on the tour, the Wild Horse Lookout. Just got our challenge photo at Stewart Canyon. Stewart Canyon's to my left, we just came up. Corral Creek is to my right. Stewart Canyon, Corral Creek Pass. Just a challenge photo. Oh, Luke says there's a moose down here. Let's see if I can see it. He gets to see all the cool wildlife because he's the smartest one when it comes to navigation, so usually, if not always, we just let him lead. Oh yeah, looks like he stopped, so it must be. See it still?
We went right into those trees. It had a hurt back foot. It was like hobbling.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's the
bull moose that came across right here. It was limping with the rear foot, but it walked right into the tree. Yeah, the bull. Little one, but maybe it'll see it when we go up here.
Ooh, can't look and drive. I don't know.
You see it or not?
Right now?
Oh, it was in the trees. You can go up on that hill and see it. You want to turn to a GoPro.
Probably shouldn't harass it if it's hurt. Well, he's somewhere in there. I guess I'll leave him alone. I didn't. That's the second hurt moose we've seen up here. The other injured moose I was referring to was this young bull who had broken his back somehow and ended up right in the middle of the road in 2021. Luke and I didn't know what to do to help him. We debated for a bit, trying to decide if euthanizing him would be a good idea, but we worried about the repercussions. So we eventually decided to mark the coordinates, and we notified a fish and game officer that we know in Idaho as soon as we got cell phone reception.
44 degrees coming across that valley. Kind of chilly. Whitefish. Don't catch the whitefish. Lost river. I don't know. Maybe it deters animals or something. That's a steep climb. Bike got hot, 213. I think I'm losing some coolant too. I just don't know where. Had to add water. Wild Horse Lookout. Somebody's been up here keeping notes. Hey, Brian Goss. Oh yeah. John Gravitt. You could maybe survive here for a little bit. Did you make it?
Yeah, spun out on one of the switchbacks down there. Laid it over.
America.
When editing this footage for day 5, I had a hard time believing that this was the first fire lookout we had come to on this tour, because lookouts were so frequent the last time we rode a T1. I had to go back just to make sure that this was really the first one on this adventure, and I believe that it is. That just means that there will be a lot more of these awesome old lookouts to come. From Wild Horse Lookout, it was back down the mountain the way we came and across the valley to the other side. From here, we would head up Burnt Aspen Trail on our first single track of many for the day. This great trail would take us up to checkpoint number 4, Cane Creek Pass.
Ready?
From Cane Creek Pass, we headed down Cane Creek Drainage, around Phi Kappa Mountain, over Trail Creek Summit, and then about 12 miles down into the ever so fancy resort town of Ketchum. This is easily the most pretentious city we would see on the Tour of Idaho. Both times I've been here, I've noticed that there seemed to be exactly one person who wanted us here on our dirt bikes. Maybe we'd get lucky and run into old Jeff Jensen again when we get into Ketchum.
These right-handers, about have to get off and walk them around. Colby has a, oops. Oh, Colby has a left-hand rear brake. Makes it easier. Oh, whacked my shin on my foot peg right there. I got a lot of good stuff on that one. Just came down out of there, Little Cane Creek, or just Cane Creek, I can't remember. I'll head up this way. Thinking we might try to go into Hailey and get rear tires. Ours are pretty smoked, but we don't know how much time that will cost us. GoPro, now it's official. We ran into the legend, Jeff Jensen.
Yeah, you guys are doing well.
Thanks.
What'd you think of that day 3 and 4 shit? Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. You guys having fun? Oh
yeah.
I'm so jealous. Yeah, I just did this week.
Did you?
You know, I was going over a log and
on a bike?
Yeah. And it was a wet log. And, you know, jumped logs 100 times.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a bald one and it was wet. And I got through it and then the back end hit and kicked me. And when I must have wicked the throttle or something. And it was Hero Dirt. It rained Friday and Saturday morning. And we were on a brand new trail that nobody been into. It launched me into the bank.
Huh.
Bars and destroyed my.
Dang.
I got this. Of course, I don't know if it's as good as somebody's ass crack that I saw.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, it settles down in there.
Yeah, well, my leg's all swelled and it's going down, and this is all swelled up.
Your hand looks pretty swelled up.
Oh, fuck yeah, it's getting worse.
See you, Jeff.
We really appreciate all of the tour veterans and friends and business owners who have supported the tour over the years. Jeff Jensen is one of the very best in our opinion, and it was awesome to get to talk to him. For him to meet us with a homemade sign and wish us luck meant a lot, and it gave us a much needed boost of motivation to get us over the tough trails leading up to Smoky Bar. The resort town of Ketchum is an interesting one. As Martin puts it in his T1 route description of Ketchum, quote, Bruce Willis lives here, so do Peter Cetera, Steve Miller, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mark Zuckerberg, Demi Moore, Ashton Kutcher, and Tony Robbins. But more than a few hours here and you'll want to jab yourself in the knee with a piece of rebar. Don't let the laid-back demeanor of the locals wearing $300 sandals fool you either. Almost everyone staring at you and your bike dislikes you and hates your bike. End quote. Luckily for Ketchumites, Jeff Jensen makes up for all their dirt bike prejudice. From Ketchum, normally we would have kept heading east towards more epic single track, a really tough challenge section, and the fabled Smoky Bar store. But we had decided instead to detour south 30 miles to Hailey, 15 miles there and 15 miles back, to visit the good people at Karl Malone Power Sports for some new rear tires. We knew it would cost us some precious time, but our next and only other opportunity for tires would be on day 8 in Salmon. We didn't think that our rear tires were going to have much tread left at all by the time we got there, since we'd already put over 900 miles on them, and we still had over 400 miles left until Salmon.
Hailey.
We also knew that there were some sections of trail where good traction could make the difference between success and failure, one of which was coming up at the end of the day today if we chose to do the challenge section. So we made the decision and headed to Hailey. The nice mechanics at KMPS also let us use their shop to look over our bikes for issues while they installed the tires. We figured it was worth a few extra bucks they charged us to have them put the tires on with their machinery rather than trying to install them ourselves, though we did remove the wheels for them. The time spent looking over the bikes was well spent. We topped off our fluids, lubed up tight joints and bearings, tightened loose bolts, and took off air filter skins. I also finally discovered where my coolant leak was coming from. The water pump seal had failed, but unfortunately, Karl Malone Power Sports didn't have the replacement seal that I needed to make the fix. And without that seal, I wasn't sure what would happen going forward, but it didn't look good, since I was losing whatever I put in the radiator at a fairly rapid rate. Probably the best thing that happened was even though they didn't have a replacement kickstand for Colby, one of the employees was still willing to sell his own kickstand off his personal bike. This was a huge relief for Colby. Like I said, you don't often realize how nice something is until it's gone. So, now that the ladies had new shoes, they were ready to dance once again. We left Karl Malone Power Sports and headed north to grab some lunch.
So we got new tires. But I discovered that I have a water shaft seal leak. There's a little weep hole that's leaking coolant. I only had about half my coolant left from this morning. Of course, Karl Malone doesn't have that seal. So, got to figure out a way to stop that leak. Or stop riding. Thinking I might get some high temperature gasket maker and try to, I don't know, seal it up somehow. Not really sure. Trying to see how much it's actually leaking too.
We decided to stop at a place called Wise Guy's Pizza Pie. It was good stuff, exactly what we needed to keep us going. We made 2 more stops before hitting the mountains again, one for fuel, the other at an auto parts store. I can't remember what we needed there, maybe some oil or some random parts. But sitting there on the checkout counter, almost too small to notice, was a little bottle of K-Seal radiator leak fix for cars. Obviously, it jumped out to me. So I asked the guy behind the counter if he thought it would work with my dirt bike issue. He had no idea. About anything, really. So I bought it. And since it said that a car required the whole bottle, I just dumped a cap full in. Kept the bottle in case I wanted to try to add more later and hope for the best. From Ketchum once again, we finally were able to head back into the hills. We took Warm Springs Road several miles east-ish until we came to the Warfield South Fork Trail. We climbed up this trail system to our aptly named 4th challenge photo of the day, Cliff View.
So I'm still losing coolant. We just got in here to Ketchum and put in some auto radiator leak fix just as a shot in the dark. See if we can fix it. Colby's just adding oil. Alright, we're finally gassed up. We don't know about the coolant leak on my bike. Everybody's good though, except for that. 210. We'll be doing good to get to Smoky Bar at this rate by 7:30 or 8. Especially if we do Big Peak Creek challenge section. Fingers crossed.
As a 3-man team, we were required to complete 3 challenge sections over the course of the tour. We had been planning on doing the day 5 challenge section as one of our 3. The main reason we were considering this one was that as a 3-man team, we were already required to ride a significant portion of this trail anyways, that other teams weren't. And the hardest part of the challenge section, Big Peak Creek, wasn't too much longer than what we already had to ride anyways. But Luke and I knew from our previous T1 attempt that most of, and especially the end of, Big Peak Creek was not for the faint of heart. In fact, I had almost vapor locked my bike last time in the large river crossing at the end of the challenge section, and we had told ourselves that if we could do it again, we would avoid that section of trail at all costs. Personally, I was already in a lot of pain and not riding at the top of my game, but we needed a challenge point, and we did have new rear tires, and it only added about 6 miles of trail, even if it was really hard trail. Plus, we really didn't have very many other options for challenge section on future days, at least none that we really wanted to give a try. So we decided that for now we would plan on riding Big Peak Creek, but if it wasn't looking good when we got there, we could always bail out. Truthfully, we also just really wanted to get to and enjoy Smoky Bar before it got dark this year. Last time we were really late on our arrival at Smoky Bar and soaked to the bones from rain and swimming in rivers.
That looked dicey.
River crossings present unique challenges because often it's hard to see the slippery rocks lying under the current or at times muddy water. If we can see the rocks, we can navigate them. If we can't see them, then the bikes shoot out from under us in unexpected directions, often leading to a tip over in the worst possible place, a river. And as most river riders know, if your bike sucks water into the engine, it causes what we call a hydrolock, meaning that the engine essentially seizes because water has entered into the cylinder or combustion chamber. And since everyone knows water cannot be compressed, it prevents the engine from running. Fixing this issue can be very time consuming and is absolutely not compatible for a successful T1 ride.
One.
Now I can't tell if it's leaking.
Yeah, we won't for a while. Good?
Yep. Oh. You all right?
Yeah, I just hit a rock and then I hit this big rock with my front tire. So it makes that up flat.
You're not hurt, are you?
No. Good?
Yep. I forgot I undid this.
From Cliffview, we would continue down Warfield Trail to Beaver Creek, to Placer Creek, and finally to Big Peat Creek, where we would hopefully at the end of it take our last challenge photo for the day on a boulder-infested creek crossing just before we headed up Big Smoky.
I guess I didn't realize we'd already started the challenge section. That explains why this trail's been so tough. But we still gotta go clear down Big Peat Creek. We know that's tough too. Get her done. That's Big Peat Creek, way down there, and the canyon turns right and goes. We've got a long ways to go down that canyon. Not to mention just to get to that canyon. And all of it is a challenge section. Pretty sketchy side hill exposure through all this. It's actually not too bad right here, but back there I didn't dare turn the GoPro on because I couldn't take my hand off the handlebars.
did.
Caught what?
You know, it looks like a little few rocks lean in.
Oh yeah?
I leaned in and it hit my fork and I just...
Did you go down?
No, I set the bike in.
Oh.
It pinched me in so I could just holding me there.
Oh.
And then I moved in. Was able to get
So
I don't know, there's that one, it's pretty easy except you got that one switchback you got to turn there to the left, but I don't know what the route looks like on the other side.
What are you feeling?
I don't know. Just do it.
Left or right?
I think it's going to be easier to do the switchback than the route, but
Colby wants the hard way.
my leg's stuck. God. Let's see if I can. My leg's just pinned. My leg's just pinned. Ready? Okay. Alright. Sorry.
You okay?
Oh yeah.
Anything?
I would have got up, I just couldn't. My leg was
That's
pinned
what
there.
happened to me back there. Luckily I was up uphill. Which way do you want to go?
I'm gonna
Pop over the one?
Yep. Alright. Thanks. Oh God.
Here I'm starting to have an asthma attack come on, but I'm too intent on getting through this challenge section to realize I need to stop and address the issue.
Oh, Caleb, that's a beast. Oh my God.
Go, man. Can't breathe. Damn it.
Here, I got it.
I got it. Huh?
sure my heavy breathing and inability to ride this trail fluidly is giving many viewers a panic attack, or at least a good case of suck it up buttercup syndrome. Either way, I could show you lots more of this, but I figured I'd spare you all and skip ahead to when I was trying to fix my boot that the sole was coming off.
Oh, God.
Oh, it keeps catching on my that freaking thing. Oh, what a mess. I have a little blue one. This is small. Let's do that one.
I think you might have to zip tie it.
Wouldn't a zip tie break?
Probably not.
Put this one of those tighten straps, the green one. Is that one too small, Caleb? I need a little bit bigger one than that.
Too small.
I can just use this one. Is that one too big though, Caleb?
Yeah. I was thinking a zip tie, but
I don't know why that wouldn't break though. This is probably stronger than a zip tie.
that'll just be flailing everywhere.
I can strap it up somehow.
That should work. Unless it slips right off the front. And that buckle's broke too.
Yeah.
You were worried about that with those boots before this trip, huh?
Yeah. They're gonna need a strong case of duct tape at Smoky Bar. Alright. The buckles are all broken.
His buckles on one broke. Sole's coming off the other one.
Those boots look
Climb
like
kind
hell.
of sucks.
Here, I'll take it here. I don't know if it won't stay. I got it. Had it tight that time.
Here, I got it.
Had it dang tight. You just
slick rocks. I sure hope it didn't suck air or suck water.
Luckily, Luke hit the kill switch just in time to not suck any water into his engine as we crossed Big Smoky. And just before this, we had taken our final photo of the day on Big Pete Creek. We knew we weren't out of trouble just yet though, but we were close. All we had to do is climb up and out of Big Smoky and we would be home free and resting at Smoky Bar. At least for day 5.
fine.
As I'm sure was apparent if you hung with me for the whole video, I was not doing as well as Colby and Luke were 5 days into this 13-day adventure. I needed some major pain relief that I knew Advil and Tylenol probably couldn't provide. I was hoping that a few hours relaxing at Smoky Bar, a good meal, and a solid night's sleep would right all my wrongs, at least as far as dirt bike riding goes. Luke and Colby were feeling the tour pains too, no doubt, so we were excited to get out of this canyon. Luckily, the auto-grade leak fix did seem to have sealed up the leak on my radiator, but it was hard to tell if it was causing any other damage. At this point, it would just have to be what it was. Colby was loving being able to leave his bike standing on its own once again, and Luke was just happy to be on his dirt bike riding the best single track in the world. Truthfully, we all were, and that's what this is really all about. Great people, world-class trails, and the adventure of a lifetime. Smoky Bar store is easily one of our favorite places to visit in all of Idaho. Kaylin is an exceptional host. She has to bring almost all of her supplies up the mountain periodically in order to provide her guests with the best experience she can. And that's exactly what staying here is, the best experience. If you're ever even close to the Smoky Bar store, it is well worth a stop, even if it's just a quick stop while passing through. There's a store, a bar, and lodging available. Her and Grandma Margaret had some of the best homemade tacos I had ever tasted, all ready for us when we pulled up.
Hey Kaylin, I stopped to put a GoPro battery in right there. I didn't know we were this close.
Oh, can't you read the map?
Yeah, I wasn't looking at the map.
What's the sign that said turn left?
Hey, Margaret made you guys some awesome tacos tonight.
Awesome.
And your cabin is that one.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys want to like,
Over there?
if you want.
But let's take a picture.
Oh yeah, let's do
Mike,
that.
let's take a picture for the store.
Okay.
Another cool thing about the Smoky Bar store is how many hummingbirds call it home. Kaylin has feeders all over her property, and the hummingbirds are definitely flourishing. She told me once how much sugar she brings in to mix the sugar water that the hummingbirds love so much. And of course, I can't remember how much she said. I just remember that I was surprised how many pounds of sugar it took.
All right. Good morning. Enchilada. Tamale.
To this day, I'm still not exactly sure what Margaret said right there to try to get us to smile. But it worked.
Thanks.
What a day.
Huh. I'm rethinking life decisions.
Holy crap.
I really was wondering if I was risking a successful tour for Luke and Colby by staying with them at this point. My injuries were piling up and causing me to be a weak link. I also knew that a good night's sleep could be all I needed to feel okay again. So, after eating some of the best homemade tacos I ever had, we hung out and talked with Kaylin and Grandma Margaret for a while. Then we made some minor bike repairs and maintenance, relaxed for an hour or so, and then we hit the sack for some much needed shut-eye. Day 6 was coming soon. I knew I was going to keep going because I wasn't in the hospital, so might as well, right? Before we knew it, we'd be in the saddle once again.